What if the biggest royal inheritance story of the decade wasn't about money at all? Imagine a confidential meeting inside Buckingham Palace. Phones removed, doors sealed, senior advisors locked inside for hours. And when the meeting ended, one shocking realization allegedly sent tremors through the House of Windsor. The inheritance many believed would help protect Prince Harry may have been structured very differently than anyone expected. And at the center of it all? Prince William. If true, this revelation could change the way we understand loyalty, power, and the future of the British monarchy itself. For years, royal watchers assumed there was a delicate balance within the royal family. Prince William would inherit the crown and all the responsibilities that come with it, while Prince Harry would have financial protections designed to ensure he was never left completely behind. But according to growing speculation and reports circulating among royal insiders, the reality may be far more complicated. Today, we're exploring the alleged inheritance framework connected to Queen Elizabeth II, why it reportedly shocked key figures inside the palace, and what it could mean for Prince William, Prince Harry, King Charles, and Queen Camilla. Let's get into it. The secret meeting that started everything. The story begins with what was reportedly an extraordinarily sensitive legal briefing inside Buckingham Palace. According to royal rumors, this wasn't a routine review. Confidential documents were allegedly brought into a restricted meeting room. Senior legal advisors were present. Access was tightly controlled. For nearly 3 hours, discussions reportedly focused on inheritance structures connected to Queen Elizabeth II's long-term planning. At first glance, estate planning may sound boring. But in a monarchy, inheritance isn't simply about wealth. It's about authority. It's about influence. And it's about deciding who will hold the keys to the institution's future. When details of the alleged discussions began circulating internally, one question quickly emerged. Had everyone misunderstood Queen Elizabeth's intentions all along? And that question would lead directly to Prince William. The as some Tyan a boot Hari. For decades, many royal observers believed a simple arrangement existed. William would inherit the crown. Harry would receive protection. That idea made sense. The monarchy has always operated under a strict hierarchy, and second-born royals often require separate financial arrangements because they don't inherit the same responsibilities or privileges as the future monarch. Many assumed Harry would always have a secure place within that framework. But according to reports from royal commentators and insiders, legal reviews may have revealed a different reality. Rather than separating certain assets from William's influence, key protections and legacy structures may have been tied more closely to the future sovereign than previously believed. If accurate, that would represent a profound shift in understanding, because it would suggest Queen Elizabeth's final planning was centered not on balancing family relationships, but on protecting the institution itself. And that's where the story becomes much more complicated. While we owe William's roll GRE to stronger. While public attention focused on royal family disputes, another process may have been unfolding behind the scenes. Prince William was gradually moving deeper into the machinery of the monarchy, not through headlines, not through interviews, but through responsibility. Over the past several years, William has taken on increasing duties connected to royal estates, charitable oversight, constitutional responsibilities, and long-term planning. As King Charles faced health challenges and public scrutiny intensified, many observers noted that William appeared increasingly central to the monarchy's future. According to palace insiders, senior advisors reportedly viewed him as a stabilizing figure. Reliable, disciplined, predictable. In an institution built on continuity, those qualities matter enormously. If Queen Elizabeth shared that assessment, it may explain why so many inheritance decisions allegedly reinforced William's position. Not because he was her favorite, but because he was her chosen guardian of continuity. Impact Queen Camilla. One of the most intriguing aspects of this story involves Queen Camilla. Reports suggest some within her circle believed influence would naturally expand during King Charles's reign. After all, Charles is king. Camilla is queen. That seems logical. But according to speculations surrounding the inheritance framework, certain legal protections may have concentrated authority around the future monarch rather than the current royal network. If that's true, it changes the equation. Instead of influence spreading outward, it narrows toward the direct line of succession. And that direct line ultimately leads to William. For those hoping to preserve influence beyond Charles's reign, such a structure could be deeply unsettling. Not because anyone is losing everything, but because the future may already have been mapped out decades in advance. Harry's most painful realization. The most emotional part of this entire story isn't about trusts, estates, or money. It's about belonging. If the reports are accurate, the deepest wound may be the realization that the monarchy continued evolving without Harry at its center. For years, public debates focused on family disagreements, interviews, documentaries, and memoirs. But beneath those headlines, institutional planning never stopped. The crown continued preparing for the future, and that future increasingly revolved around William. Imagine discovering that major decisions about the monarchy's long-term structure had already been made while family relationships were deteriorating. For Harry, supporters argue that would feel devastating, not because of lost assets, but because of what those decisions symbolize: trust, confidence, and a place within the institution's future. Queen Elizabeth's long game. To understand the bigger picture, we have to understand Queen Elizabeth II. Throughout her reign, she survived crises that would have destroyed many institutions: abdications, scandals, political upheaval, family divisions. She learned one lesson repeatedly: monarchies survive through stability, not popularity, not emotion. Stability. Many royal historians believe that during her final years, Elizabeth became increasingly focused on preserving the institution for future generations. If that perspective influenced her inheritance planning, then everything starts to make more sense. The goal wasn't necessarily to reward individuals. The goal was to strengthen the crown. From that viewpoint, concentrating authority around the future sovereign becomes easier to understand. It wasn't personal. It was strategic. And strategy often looks cold when viewed through the lens of family relationships. He, silent, war, behind, he, palace walls. According to royal insiders, the aftermath created an atmosphere of tension throughout royal circles. Not open warfare, not dramatic confrontations, something quieter, more subtle. A battle of influence, a battle of trust, a battle over who truly represents the future of the monarchy. Different factions reportedly interpreted the inheritance revelations in completely different ways. Some viewed them as necessary protections. Others saw them as evidence that power had become increasingly concentrated. But regardless of interpretation, one fact remained impossible to ignore. The balance of influence inside the House of Windsor appeared to be changing. And once that process begins, it's very difficult to reverse. What hat thifts really means. Ultimately, this story isn't about winning or losing. It's about succession. The British monarchy is designed to think decades ahead, sometimes generations ahead. If Queen Elizabeth's inheritance planning was truly structured around institutional survival, then the message becomes clear. The crown was preparing for the future long before the public realized a transition was approaching. Prince William emerges from this narrative as more than an heir. He becomes a steward, a guardian, a figure entrusted with carrying the institution through an uncertain era. Whether people agree with those decisions or not, they reveal something fascinating about how the monarchy operates. Its priorities are often very different from those of the family living inside it. In the end, the inheritance controversy may never be remembered for the money involved. It may be remembered for what it revealed about trust, succession, and Queen Elizabeth's vision for the future of the crown. If these reports are accurate, then the late queen wasn't simply planning an estate. She was planning the monarchy's survival. But what do you think? Did Queen Elizabeth make the right decision by allegedly concentrating authority around Prince William? Or should a different balance have been maintained within the family? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into royal history, power, and palace intrigue, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next royal update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.